I've seen so many freelancers or people who attempt to go freelance fail for this reason. People don't remember the service, the work that you provide for them. They remember how you made them feel. So can you put a client at ease? Can you make them feel important? Can you make them feel seen and heard? Can you make them feel like their life is a little bit easier for working with you? And that is the key. That really separates you from so many other people who have more talent. I think this is super important early on in your freelance career or early on in dealing with any new clients, because there's a figuring out process that goes on where a new client may have hired you, may be considering hiring you, but they're not quite sure what they're getting. There's a trust that has yet to be built. And the easiest way to build that trust is not through fabulous work. It helps, don't get me wrong, but it's about being really easy to work with, being the person that they know they can rely on to go to, and their problem will be solved. And this is really, it's the secret sauce in outperforming. Because I've never been the most talented person in any room, and even previous to going freelance, my ability to say, yes, I can do that. And I hear you and I'm going to get it done for you. Don't worry about it. Got me so much further than other people who had so much more talent, who remain stuck in positions that they're not entirely happy in. And I think a big reason why is because they are difficult to deal with. They value their expertise and their talent too seriously and too highly, that every time somebody questions something or tries to discuss something, they want to push back, they want to fight back, and they want to defend themselves. And I understand it, but it's not something that's going to get you further in a freelance career. You've got to be an easy person to deal with. So I have had and continue to have clients on a regular basis who ask for things to be turned around super fast. I'm so sorry, this week we got behind. We have our podcast episode recorded, but we want it released tomorrow. I get them scenarios a lot. In every case, I say, yeah, don't worry about it. I'll get it done for you. Because what I'm doing there is more than, getting the job done for them. I'm making it feel easy for them. Now, the key here is, and I know it's difficult when you value what you do and the service you provide. The difficulty is when somebody makes a request like that. The difficulty is, how can I get it done to the standard I want in the time available? They want it done tomorrow. I've got like an hour left of today. Just do your best in that time is how I approach it. Do your best in that time. That's the goal. And they're never expecting anything outrageous. They're not expecting miracles. Often I do it to a slightly lower standard than is usually what I give when I have a bit more time, because you've given it to me late. But I don't bring that up in the conversation. I just say, yeah, that's going to be done for you. And I do it to the best of my ability in the time that's available, so that their request is met and they walk away super happy and they tell other people how easy I am to work with. One client in particular who was, through no fault of his own in a way, I mean, guests were always cancelling on him for podcast recordings. So he always had to kind of do it last minute or often. And I'd always get it done for him. And he has referred me to multiple other people, saying, this is the guy you need to deal with. And that's what it's all about. I think my biggest piece of advice would be, with every time you have an instinct to push back or to argue back or to fight back, is to take a pause and think, how can I come at this from a calm place? How can I make the client feel seen? I think what's also a helpful practice is to always tell yourself, well, I don't have all the answers. Yes, they're hiring you as the expert, and the tendency is I need to show myself as the expert, but we're all spoofing a little bit. So we're all guessing a little bit. So always to think, when somebody requests something that you don't agree with, or when they request something you don't like is to think, well, maybe there's benefits to this. Maybe the way I want to do it is not the right way. And when you come at it from that angle, what's happened to me more times than I really expected is that I actually start to see their way of thinking a little bit more. They might ask for a request that will be kind of against how I would do things previous based on my experience. And rather than pushing back and saying, that's not how you do things, I'll go, okay, maybe so. Let's try it that way. And I've been surprised by the outcome sometimes to go, actually, they were right in this scenario. None of this is about being a yes man or a yes girl or bending over backwards to every single request, but it's about understanding them and coming at it from a very calm place where you are always the person who understands, who is able to get things done for them, is a can-do person. And that will take you so much further than any range of talent. Sometimes maybe it's not in the realms of possibility. And within that, you don't push back with an argument. You just explain. You make them feel seen and then explain. Listen, I understand that sometimes you only get these assets last minute. And normally I'd be able to do this for you, but in this instance, I just can't because of this reason. And that makes them feel seen. And then you provide a solution after that. So while I can't deliver it tomorrow, I can deliver it the day after. And I hope that works for you. And that way, you know, you're doing your best for them. I think that's the big thing. And I've been on the hiring side, and you want to feel like people are doing their best for you. And being a nice person, being calm, being reasonable, it does work both ways. But I feel like the freelancer always kind of has to take the lead on it, to be the person who is getting paid and who says, I'll get that done for you. I'll be able to do that for you, and never reacts to anything that comes up, because it's within us all. It's an instinctive reaction. I still get it sometimes when I get a request. I got it this morning when somebody suggested in what felt like a slightly rude way that I'd done something wrong. And my instinctive reaction was, well, it's not wrong. This is actually how it's done. But instead of fighting back or coming back with something slightly harsh, I said that that is a way of doing it. The way you've suggested is a way of doing it. This is also a way of doing it. The preference lies differently with each individual. Here's both versions so you can choose which you feel works best for you. And again, that's just an example of being somebody who's easy to deal with, who's not going to cause friction, and who's not going to make your life more difficult. I promise you, this is something that will take you so much further than you ever expected. Keep this one really, really high on your list of priorities. Be a nice person. Be easy to deal with. Communicate in a calm and measured way all the time, and clients will refer you to more people. This is the fastest way to get more clients, to get further in your freelance career. Being easy to work with always beats talent. And let being a nice person become a core element of your freelance brand.